Hi. Today was the day that I go back over to my original shooting and try to retake some pictures that totally got messed up the first time round. And guess what? I had a menopausal moment. Got all the way over there, have a fully charged battery, got my nice dress on, and had my little talk I was gonna say. No chip in the camera. Kinda needs one of those to be filming. So I took a bunch of stills. I can still tell the story. And we're just going to be doing it from inside today. One of the things that I have on today, these crystal earrings, I don't know if I can get a very good zoom. I've had them for about 35 years. Always been interested in crystals. Quartz, just as a note of interest, is a very powerful stone if you're into crystals. It also helps you to focus. It also is an angelic stone, so if you're feeling a little, you want some backup when you're going to some places, quartz is a very good stone to have. And you'll also notice I have on this lovely hematite necklace. Hematite is a type of iron ore. It's very, very good for grounding. It's also a very good stone to be taking with you when you're going on things to prepare yourself. You can make sure that you bring in the white light for protection, which these are good for, and then grounding yourself to earth. That way, when you're centered, you're not going to be having any outside issues, more or less. So anyway, what was I going to talk to you about on Dorset Street? Well, about 30 years ago, and we will be putting pictures in, my husband and I used to walk by the old fancy houses. They're from the mid-1800s. The very wealthy were there overlooking the lake. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we would go down, and there's a house with a tower on front, which is in the pictures, and there was a window in the top of the tower. And when we got there, I saw a shadow being, is the best way to describe it. It's a three-dimensional, looks three-dimensional, but it's dark shadow. Doesn't necessarily mean bad, it just means it's a dark. And it would come in from, alright, if I'm standing looking at the house, it's my left. And so it would sort of come in, look, and then go back, and come back. Like it's a very interesting thing. I didn't say anything to my husband because I wasn't sure at the time how he would take me seeing unusual things, and I didn't want to spoil the nice walk we were having. I saw it about 3 or 4 times because we would go down this street periodically, you know, especially when the weather was nice. And about 5 years after that, I was working at a daycare, and one of the women, oh, you know, what did you do? And I said, oh yeah, my husband and I went for a walk on Dorset Street. And without any prompting from me, she says, oh my God, did you go by the house with the tower? And I'm like, well, duh, yeah. And she says, there's that creepy guy looking out the window at you. So she described, in her words, exactly what I had seen. So it was nice to have confirmation that I wasn't the only one that was seeing things. And my husband did, after I came home and told him, it took me 5 years to tell him, he had said, well, I get a creepy feeling by that house. And just down from there, I was taking Charlotte up the hill to show her when she was driving me home after a meeting one night, the house, and we stopped. She goes, oh yeah, I know there's a creepy house. And she stopped in front of a different one. And didn't I get the weirdest feeling? And it wasn't the house that I normally did, but my eyes went to those upper windows, which was interesting. I haven't seen anything, and I haven't had a chance to look at the still photographs that I took today yet. But it was interesting that she was drawn to one house, I was drawn to another house, and I felt a very strange energy there. And another house that I stopped at today is a little brown house just around the corner, and you'll notice I took some photographs of the doorstop, or like where you go into the house. We were looking for a house at one time, and we had told the real estate agent we're looking for like a $30,000 house, which you could get them back then. And she took us to like a $64,000 house. And he was right in there. He loved the little house, and it is a very cute little house. You'll notice in the picture, it's a beautiful little house. But when I went up that step and put my foot on the white door frame part, oh, I was hit with such a strong energy. I couldn't go in the house. John knew that I sensed stuff, but he didn't really want to talk about stuff, because we also have stuff in our house, which I may or may not talk about later. And I didn't know what was wrong, but I put my foot over the threshold and like on the floor past the door, but half of me was out and half of me was in. And she turned around to look at me, and John just knew there was something wrong. And I said, "I'm sorry. This is twice as much as what we asked you for. I'm not putting a foot in this house because I'll probably fall in love with it, and we can't afford it, so we're leaving." And John was like, "Well, yeah, she's right, you know." And he says, we'll look at, you know, a different house if you can find it in our price range. And off we went. Well, I found out, oh, not very long afterwards, that supposedly the woman that had lived in the house hadn't died. What had happened was her son showed up one weekend and said, "Hey, Mom, we're going for a drive in the country," and took her to an old folks' home and left her there. So she, number one, did not want to be there, was very upset about being booted out of her house, but she could do nothing about it. And that was the energy that I was picking up on. I felt it for a long time, but not anymore. I'm sure I could go into the house now and not have an issue. But these are very interesting things that at the time I had no explanation for. And little by little, I will tell you some more stories as time goes on, and I'm sure you'll find it just as interesting as I have. Thanks for watching, and the next time you see us, we will be at the haunting of Weird Willie, just a few miles north of Baltimore, which is the other side of Coburg. Just a little add-on for the pictures that I was just going through them. I've looked at my pictures that I took along Dorset Street of the Tower House a couple of times, and I never saw anything. So today I thought I'm going to go into my computer and I'm going to blow up the pictures and take a closer look, because usually you'll find things if you go in and look. And I did find something. I'm very pleased. I wrote an oh my god email to Charlotte to say, "I think I found something." Then I had to go back in, and indeed I did. Now I'm going to turn the camera around to my computer. Hopefully this will pick it up. These are the pictures that you will be looking at. Basically nothing. If I zoom in, here's nothing. Bad angle. Go next picture. Zoom in, zoom in. Not really anything. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing looking for orbs or anything. There's a close-up of the window, and I'm thinking I didn't really see anything in that one either. So this one, same thing. Nothing really to write home about. So of course I wasn't really paying attention. That's another angle of the same window, and there's really just branches and stuff in the way. You can't, oh no, I think it's just branches and stuff. Then we get to this one. It doesn't look like much of anything until, I don't know, oh, you see, if I go too close in, you can't see. So maybe if I use my zoom, can you see? Oh, we're getting a little bit of weird interference. I'm going to take my blue pencil and here, peeking exactly where I said. You got an eye, nose, mouth. You can sort of see a shoulder. So he's right here, peeking out the window exactly in the spot that I said he would be in, but he does not look anything like the shadow being I used to saw. He's a little bit more defined. He probably, oh, there's beautiful rainbows. So trying to maybe, oh, too far. That's probably as good as it's going to get. But he just sort of peeks around that corner. Now, the first time I saw it, it didn't look like that at all. It just sort of looked very shadow being, like all dark and shadows. Has like a 3D dimensional quality to it, but no definition. This one's quite light, but still very shadow being like. Very interesting. I didn't think I had found anything, and lo and behold, I did. So I couldn't be any more happy to say, there he is in the tower window. He's still there. I thought I'd come down and do something very important on Dorset Street, just as an add-on. My comment of after 30 years he's still here, that's really sad. I decided I'd better come down, and I'm not going to tape, it's not a clearing as such, but a communicating with whoever it happens to be, showing them how to cross over into the light, asking them or telling them that it's okay, that whatever they've done, they can always come back, that there's nothing that can keep them away from going home. This person may not know that they're gone, or they might. It's, I don't know, but I've brought my rose quartz with me. I've done my prayers, I've done my grounding, and I'm going to go down to the house. I'm going to take a still photograph of the house from the angle that I got the picture from. Sometimes if you take a directly right in your face kind of a picture, spirits will hide, but when they think that you can't see them, that's when they will lean forward and take a look. So perhaps if I go back to the spot just past the house and take a few pictures back, I might be able to get something, or I might get nothing today, I don't know. But this situation needs to be worked on. If he needs to cross over, I will try and help him to do that. We'll see how it goes, and I'll let you know what happens in a few minutes. Well, I'm back from Dorset Street, and things went very well, I believe. I had a little bit of a, oh, whoopsie. I came around to the house, and I thought I would take one or two shots from the approaching angle, and then I would go past and go down the street where I got the good picture and take a picture from that angle. I took two pictures. One coming by the driveway looking at the house down towards the downtown area. Then I took another one almost to the center of the house, but not quite, because I was getting a good clear shot of the window. And as I was walking to the new position, I'm like, oh, he's standing in the window, clear as a bell. Get the picture now. So I snapped it at a weird angle. Then I put my camera down and started to walk towards where I wanted to be in the first place. And lo and behold, the owners were like 15 feet away from me. They were both bent down in the stairwell, clearing out the grass and leaves and things. Did not see me, which is kind of a good thing. So I went down to the lower area and did my work from there, which Charlotte and I will explain how you can do these types of things. I'm not going to go into it now. And when I was finished, I did hear, "My name is George, thank you." And I felt like a grabbing of the shoulders, and it was like physically I could feel it. And it was a very warm, like a loving hug kind of a energy feeling. And I looked up at the clouds, and they were all like weird and like it's hard to explain how they were just the clouds were amazing. It was almost like, ta-da, you know, I'm going home. I will keep an eye on the house to see if things are all right, but I believe I had many helpers because I asked for them, and I also got some pictures of them, so I'll let you see what you think. There, I decided instead of trying to edit in the pictures that I took, I'm just going to film them, and that way I can zoom in and show you. This is when I was standing in the driveway, and remember I'd said that I'd had a lot of helpers. I'd asked for angels, guides, friends, and elementals to help, and let's see, can we... I know you're probably thinking, what am I supposed to be looking at? So I did a very rough copy here. Let me hold. This little head is up here. I don't know if you can see. Little head up there. This is where they all were. When you blow up the photograph, you can see it much better. But let's see if I can point out. Okay. There's sort of a triangular shaped kind of a face. You've got an arm coming down and around down here, so there's one. And there's a very faint, oh, there's a faint face here as well that I did not see. And another little faint face here. I don't know. Oops, it's starting to go wonky. See if I can zoom in. I didn't notice those two little guys. The more I look at it, the more I see. So there is a larger face here with sort of a pointy chin. The nose is here, mouth, you can see the eyes, and it's got kind of like boofy hair. That one's kind of noticeable. And there is sort of a large fisherman's type head. He's got like a hat or something on, and there's his shoulder, comes down here. You can see his other shoulder, arm, the body. He's got what appears to be a beard. I'm trying to see the eyes, like you can see there. And just to the other side of him, there's a face here, there's a face here, there's another little face here. When I put these pictures up onto the Facebook page, you'll be able to, you know, look at them much clearer. But that was a surprise to me. And I took one other photograph, of which we will just click over, and I will zoom in. Now I can see it clearly on my screen. I can't tell if you can see him by doing this. You can definitely see it in the photograph quite clearly. And let me just show you where he is. His face is here. Looks like he's got a beard. There's his mouth, his nose, his eyes, his shoulders, his arm comes down here. Like I say, the photograph itself is quite clear. You can see it, and I saw it much clearer. I'll try and zoom in with this.
it's very hard for me to see. No, I'll show you. Right here is his face, mouth, nose, eyes. You can see his ear, his shoulder, and his arm is kind of bent coming in. I'll have to play that back and see if I can see it. But he's... The day that... Oh, I can kind of see it there. The day that I was there, I wasn't expecting to see anything. I was just going to take the picture and walk down to the far side where I thought I'll definitely be able to see it. And lo and behold, there he was. So I snapped the picture, and not too far away, like 15 feet away, were the people from the house, which I hadn't really said, gee, is it okay if I take pictures of your house? So I was from the sidewalk. I wasn't hurting anyone. I would never invade someone's privacy intentionally, you know. But here we go.